Theater, journalism, acting, Germany. What do these things all have in common? One man, from the University of Towson, giving you an eloquent presentation on the man who changed contemporary theater. Today, we will be discussing the legend himself, Heiner Müller, on today's episode of Nugget of the Day with Quarter Zip J. Heiner Müller, born January 9th, 1929, in Eppendorf, Germany, died December 30th, 1995 in Berlin, Germany, at the age of 66 due to throat cancer. He was a famous German playwright. He was a director and a poet. He is recognized for his contributions to contemporary theater, and he also studied journalism and editing as well. His genres included post-dramatic theater, non-Aristotelian theater, dialect theater, poetry, and more. His literary movement was in postmodern and post-dramatic. He joined the Social Democratic Party of Germany in 1946, but was soon expelled for his lack of enthusiasm and not paying dues as well. And he also experienced harsh dictatorships like the Nazi Party and the Socialist Unity, yet it did influence his work. Fun fact, he was actually a really heavy smoker. Oh no, I didn't use no sources, nothing for that. I just saw that through every image I saw. I dare you, look it up. You're not gonna find one picture of him without no cigar in his hand. I'll give you time. Now, this is the part of my presentation where I make it interactive, and I'm gonna give you guys 60 seconds to answer a question after I ask the question. So after I ask the question, just already have your hands raised if you wanna, you get what I'm saying. So my question is, how do you think his experiences living in East Germany influenced his playwriting and the themes of conflict, power, and even identity when he wrote his plays? I'm gonna give you a second to reflect on what I just asked you, and you can start raising your hand in 3, 2, 1, go. You, sir, or ma'am. That's a good point, yeah. It's okay, Jalen. You can skip ahead if they already done the answer. Oh, I ain't mean to interrupt if you still going, by the way. Okay, that was good. All right, continue more with the presentation. He is a man that has married 4 times in his life. He is also a man who loved rewriting other people's plays and even doing it better. He was banned and celebrated at the same time. He even once said that actors are victims of literature. And his most famous work, Hamlet Machine, was a rewriting of Hamlet from the perspective of a machine.
the bed. I destroy the battlefield that was my home. I fling open the doors so the wind gets in, and the scream of the world. I smash the window. With my bleeding hands, I tear the photos of the men I loved and who used me on the bed, on the table, on the chair, on the ground. I set fire to my prison. I throw my clothes into the fire. I walk into the street, clothed in my blood. Bong, 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 bong. The bells tolled the state funeral. Murderer and widow a couple. The counselors goose-stepping behind the high-ranking carcass's coffin, bawling with badly paid grief. Who is the corpse in the hearse? Who is the corpse?
Who is the corpse in the hearse?
Who is the corpse in the hearse? About whom there's such a hue and cry?
Who is the corpse in the hearse? Who is the corpse? Who is the corpse in the hearse? Who is the corpse in the hearse about whom there's
Such a hue and cry. Who is it? I want to be a machine. Arms for grabbing. Legs to walk on. No pain.
All right. So while we're talking about Hamlet Machine, it's time for question number 2. So how does Hamlet Machine reflect the political and social tensions of East Germany? And in what ways does Hamlet's character comment on modern society? There's a lot of hands, I see. I would just assume that the question was answered, and that was a good answer. That was a good answer. All right. He was a man of many different plagues, like 1972's cement, or 1968's Philicut, or 1970's The Task. You also have 1978's Germania, Death in Berlin. In 1970, he wrote Mauser. In 1980, The Horatian. In 1982, Media Material. But his top 3 plays consist of 1980's Quartets, which is 2 actors playing 4 characters trapped in a post-apocalyptic world. It is a dark, twisted game of seduction, power, and manipulation based on dangerous Rhinesons. His second biggest play, The Mission, back in 1979. Set after the Haitian Revolution, it follows 3 men sent to spark a global slave uprising. The play explores loyalty, revolution, and how political ideals fall apart in the real world. And as mentioned before, his most famous work known to man. His most famous work known to his name, 1977's Hamlet Machine. It is a short, intense remix of Hamlet, where the characters become a symbol of political collapse, identity crisis, and societal breakdown. It's more like a poetic explosion than a normal play. Hamlet Machine is at least under 10 pages, and it dabbles in the genres of experimental, political, and poetic theater. It is clearly a remix of Shakespeare's Hamlet, and it was a modern remix for its time. But instead of retelling the story, he uses Hamlet as a symbol for political collapse, lost identity, the failure of revolutions, and the chaos of the modern world. It's more like a series of intense images, monologues, and ideas than a traditional plot. Its key themes are simple. Hamlet as a broken, modern man who can't take action. Ophelia fighting back against the roles society forces on women. The revolution's failing and ideals falling apart. Violence, power, and history repeating. Humans turning into machines as society becomes more mechanical. Instead of a normal storyline, the play has Hamlet giving monologues about being trapped in history, Ophelia transforming into a rebellious figure who rejects her suffering, images of war, destruction, and political systems falling apart, scenes showing modern life as chaotic, violent, and emotionally disconnected. It's almost as if you were watching the inside of someone's mind as the world collapses. It's remembered because it's only a few pages long, but it's incredibly rich and dense. It's one of the most performed experimental plays in the world. Directors stage it with robots, multimedia, drag artists, dancers, everything. It shows how flexible theater can be when you break the rules. Hamlet Machine is a fast, intense, poetic breakdown of Hamlet in the modern world, showing what happens when identity, politics, and history collapse at the same time. Alright, now I'm gonna ask myself a question. So, what can we learn and really reflect on about this person right here? Well, to start off with, art can challenge, but it's not just to entertain. So, and I really feel like with a lot of his plays, that's really what he tried to explain, which really sets him apart from a lot of different people. And with that being said, history really repeats itself, but we can't control it. And I feel like he tried, not only was he making plays to explain how things were going on at the time, but to also speak about what things could be in the future. Another thing I guess we can say is that creativity comes from breaking the rules, and he really tried to do things a little bit differently with his stuff. It really all ties in together. I'd say that he was really a rule breaker, and he stood against the social norms of what Germany was being put through during the time. Art can really reflect political reality, and we see it today with a lot of, I guess you would call, woke stuff in the media today, whether it be comedians and the music. It's not just with playwrights and stuff, but even in plays too, where you can kind of make things, whether it be historical or just relevant to today. There's ways you can write it to where the things that are going on is tied into some social or political commentary. And that's really big. And it doesn't really matter what time period you base your play or your stuff in, because history does have a tendency of repeating itself. And that's why I also feel like that complexity is valuable. So y'all can discuss amongst yourselves what y'all feel is also, that you can learn from him or from Hamlet Machine. But definitely say in the class or in the comments how you feel, because this is probably where I'm going.